All right, let's see if we can finish this up here. So this was saying for each expression, circle the number that you would rewrite in order to add or subtract. So when we add or subtract, we want these exponents to be the same. Do you remember with multiplying and dividing? When we multiplied numbers like this times this, we would take those exponents and add them together. With dividing, we would take the exponents and subtract. Now, when we are adding or subtracting these numbers, we want those exponents to be the same. That way we don't have to deal with them at all. So, should we get this number in a form that says times 10 to the 4th, or this one that says times 10 to the 5th? We could do either one, it doesn't really matter, but let's try, let's try this one. So we're going to get this to say times 10 to the 4th, okay? So if we're going to do times 10 to the 4th, what do we need to do here? We're going to take 8.93. I'm going to move this over one spot. So we're going to move that decimal. So this becomes, let's see if I can write this, that is what the number is. This becomes 89.3. Let's see if I can do this. 89.3 times 10 to the 4th. So now, this works out because if you were going to take this number plus this one, you'd have 89.3 plus 7.12. That result would be times 10 to the 4th. And then you could put that back into scientific notation, say move that decimal place over one more, and say times 10 to the 5th. Okay, let's try another one. Let's try this one. So this to the 5th, and this one, let's put that in scientific notation. So let's do this. Okay, so it says here, just as a reminder, it says rewrite the number so that both have the same exponent. It doesn't say that we have to carry out the math problem. We could, but we don't have to. Okay, the decimal. I don't see one here, so we know that it's at the end. We're going to move this into scientific notation, and we want it to be times 10 to the 5th. Okay, so that won't be exact scientific notation, because scientific notation would put the decimal here, but we want it to only be to the 5th power, so we're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 124, doesn't it go right there? Right? So I'm going to say this would be 124.3 times 10 to the 5th. 124.3 times 10 to the 5th would be our number. So then, if we were subtracting these, we would take 6.142 minus 124.3, and that would be our answer. So it ends up being negative, but that's okay. And then it'd be times 10 to the 5th. Okay. You might have to end up putting it into scientific notation, into correct scientific notation at the end. So this one, let's do another one. Let's do green. So 5, okay, times, and this says times 10 to the 6th. So let's put them both into times 10 to the 6th power. So this guy, we know the decimal is here. We want it to be to the 6th power, so move it over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my. 6, that goes all the way out front, so our new number would be, well, that's supposed to be a decimal, 0.529. If you want to put all the zeros, you can, but it's not going to change the value of the number, so I'm going to leave them off. Times 10 to the 6th. Okay. That concludes the lesson. I want to go through and just add these really quick, but you're done, so if you want to pause here, you can. Or end it here, you can. And then take a look at your homework on Google Classroom, okay? Just to give some extra practice, though, with this, let's see what we can do. So let's take this number and actually add it to this one. So we said this would be 89.3 times 10 to the 4th. So what is 89.3 plus 7.12? 89.3 plus 7.12. I get 96.42. All right? 96.42. I need some workspace. Okay, so we're going to work on number 4 here. So 89.3 plus 7.12. This gives 96.42. What is our end? The end of it says times 10 to the 4th, right? So here too I'm going to do times 10 to the 4th. That's not in scientific notation though. Do you see how we have two numbers out in front of the decimal? We're only supposed to have one out in front. So what I want to do is I want to take this guy and move it over here, right? So 96 to the fourth would be the same as 9 point, oh, let's move it over here. I'm gonna put our answer over here. I guess I could do an equal sign. It is math class after all. So I'm gonna say 9.6 times, oh sorry, 9.642 times 10 to the, what did we do? Fifth power. To the fifth power. Okay. That's what the answer would be if you did this whole thing, I think, in your calculator. Let's double check. So if I'm plugging this whole thing, 8.93 times 10 to the fifth plus 7.12 times 10 to the fourth. If I plug this whole thing into my calculator, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did it, guys. So plugging that all into your calculator, this would be the correct answer. Let's try the next one here. So we got this. So number 5. Let's see if we can do number 5. Again, it's not asking us to, but hey, extra practice is good, right? So this minus this guy. So I'm getting 6.142 minus 124.3 times 10 to the fifth. I'm getting negative 118. Negative 118.158. And the answer, the end would be times 10 to the fifth, right? So if we're going to put this into real scientific, correct scientific notation, wouldn't I want to take this and move it over 2 spots? So if I move it over 2 spots, 118 to the fifth would be negative 1.18158 times 10 to the 7th, I think. You can try plugging this whole thing into your calculator, so I'm going to do that here just to check. 6.142 times 10 to the fifth minus 4 zeros. We got it, guys. So that would end up being the correct answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got it right. Okay. And then let's do the last one, number 6. That's supposed to be a 6. Okay, the last one here, we're going to take this number plus this number. So I'm going to plug into my calculator. Well, we know the answer is going to end up being times 10 to the 6th because this is to the 6th power and this one is now to the 6th power. So we're going to plug into our calculator 3.29 plus 0.529, and this ends up being 3.819. Okay, 3.81. Oh, that is in scientific notation. That's it. We're done. 3.189. And so if you want to check it, we can plug it into our calculator. We can plug in 529,000 plus, I'm going to add parentheses, 3.29 times 10 to the 6th power. And I get 3819000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we got it. 3.819 times 10 to the 6th power. So, if they were asking you to solve, these would be our final answers. So this one and this one would be our final answers for these 3 problems if they were asking you to do that. Anyway, okay, so take a look at your homework on Google Classroom and please let me know if you have any questions.